We are very honored to have Minister Keith. Thank you so much for being here.
Every important event in my life begins by calling on the aid, the assistance, and the guidance of the Almighty. So we begin in the name of Allah God, the beneficent, the merciful. I bear witness that there is but one God. I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. It gives me privilege and honor to greet all of you with the greeting words of peace. In the Arabic language, we say Assalamu alaikum, in English meaning only peace be unto you. We're here today in support of the call that you have made. Having learned of this great fight that was introduced to my teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, by Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who had an opportunity to meet with our Western Regional Representative, Minister Tony Muhammad, and communicated with us here in the Bay Area. My brother in San Francisco, the Sub-Regional Representative, Minister Christopher Muhammad, and myself, and all of the Nation of Islam, are sincerely and critically concerned about SB277 and any bill associated with it that imposes needles in the arms of men, women, and children who have the intelligence to make a free decision for themselves. We stand here before the great celebration of the birth of this country, whose founding fathers wrote in its original documents. We hold these truths to be self-evident.
Yes.
I'm honored to come behind Otto and his dad. The condition that have occurred with young Otto is self-evident. That's truth. And many that are suffering from vaccine injuries, that is truth. It is evident. And it is also evident that obviously there's an industry that is driving this vaccination campaign across the country and around the world. It goes unspoken of. When Mr. Kennedy brought this issue to our attention, he related and shared the consequence of autism with black children being increased from the MMR vaccination, as well as the hepatitis B vaccinations that have led to an increase in autism of more than 300% with black boys. He compared it with the Tuskegee Experiment that was supported by the CDC and promoted by the federal government that gave black men syphilis and watched them die for a 40-year period. There was no vaccination injury organization to respond to our need. It took 40 years of pain, 40 years of suffering, 40 years of death before even those who worked on behalf of the federal government, black, brown, red, yellow, and white people, who watched our people die and did nothing for 40 long years. Eventually, President Clinton would apologize, but it's an apology that was too little and too late. So let me say in closing that we learn in Scripture of the principle of forgiveness, where Jesus said, "Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do." Well, that's true for those that don't know. But these pharmaceutical companies know. They know the onset of injuries that come from vaccination. That's why they slipped in the still of the night and snuck into the Department of Homeland Security bill and made it impossible for those that are suffering a vaccine injury to sue Pfizer, to sue the pharmaceutical companies. They made it unlawful. They blocked your ability to respond even with a lawsuit, much less with justice. Those that have suffered a vaccine death would seem to me that they would have a right to charge homicide against the pharmaceutical companies. But the government, in the still of the night, while people were fearing what happened on 9/11, pandering on the fear of people, passed a law that now has ushered in where we stand today, SB277, a law that is ushered in by fear. I want to thank Josh for sharing the mathematics. The incident of problem with measles in this state and in this country is very small. And even those that suffered from that spread, many of them were vaccinated. They announced this morning on the news someone in Washington died of measles, but that unfortunate person was also vaccinated. So why are they picking on you? They would reduce the argument to say that there's just a bunch of moms from Marin who are concerned. Today, we stand on the principles that the founding fathers provided when they said we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, such as life, such as what?
Liberty. Liberty.
Such as life, liberty, and what?
Pursuit of happiness.
Well, we can't be happy while poisoning our children
No.
with knowledge. And again, we will not allow anyone, anywhere, to tell us what we must do with our children. That is our choice, to give our children the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yes.
Repeal SB